Mindful Life Practice community.
Yeah. All right, so we're here for our yin. I'm excited for this class because this is the first time I'm gonna have taught at sunset in this new setup, so might be a nice view. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like for you guys. All right, so yin, what do you need for this class? Couple of pillows. If you have a bolster, great. If you don't have a bolster, that's okay. Just have anything you need to be comfy. And we're going to start our practice today in a supported back bend, a supported butterfly. So I like to set myself up for this using my yoga blocks and then making a little ramp with my bolster. If you don't have a bolster or blocks, you can use your pillows. Just set them up so that they support your back. Basically, the intention here is that your sacrum is on the mat, so your butt is on your mat, and then your heart is lifted. Your soles of feet can press together. And then allow your palms to be either face up for an intention of openness, of spaciousness, or face down for an intention of groundedness. So you choose what you're needing, what you're craving tonight. And then notice how you're breathing. Is it shallow? Is it medium? Is it deep? Does your inhale flow smoothly into the exhale, or is there a little bit of a jump? And then what part of your torso are you breathing from? And can you direct your breath into the heart? So there's three kind of key things you have to focus on here with your breathing. And there's a professor called Dr. Alan Watkins. And he created an acronym which is really easy. The word is breathe. And it stands for breathe rhythmically, breathe rhythmically, evenly. I'm like, I'm not spelling breathe correctly. And through the heart every day. Okay, so that short acronym can help you when you're in feelings of anxiousness or overwhelm or whatever feeling is going on in your brain. Focus on those 3 aspects of your breath. It's been scientifically proven to help you calm down. So we're going to take a few more deep and even breaths in total stillness. And while we're doing this, if you have a personal intention, you know, everyone's reasons for showing up to yoga are different. They're personal. I will never know what they are. So you take a moment to set your intention. And if you don't have one, I'll invite you to take the intention that I've been working with this week. So I've been exploring this concept in the Yoga Sutras called the kleshas. The kleshas are habits of the mind that stand in our way of finding inner peace. And these were defined in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. And one of the kleshas is devesa. And devesa is our emotional reaction to things. And so this week I've been exploring this concept. What are our reactions like on our yoga mats? How are we seeing things as we are and not as they are? And how can we separate events from the stories we tell around them? In order to help us come closer to balance, help us come closer to finding peace. So put it in simpler terms, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. And how can you notice that, become aware of that? Let's take another round of breath in this supported back bend butterfly. And we are going to slowly make our way just up off that support. Maybe rolling to one side. And then we're going to move those props off the yoga mat. And then come all the way back down onto our mat. Just give yourself a moment in rebound. Let your spine kind of soak that up. So we're going to be moving through yoga postures tonight that are twisting postures. I think twisting postures are super beneficial because they are all about balance and bringing us back to our center. So the first pose we're going to take is a twisted root pose. So staying on your spine, stack your right thigh on top of your left. And you're going to shuffle your hips over to the right. And then you're going to drop your knees over to the left. And then let your gaze go over the right shoulder towards the right elbow. And then if you want to support yourself with a pillow or something underneath the knee, go ahead. Knowing that we will be in this shape for probably around 3 minutes, maybe more. So right away, if the right thigh stacking on the left does not feel good, feel free to unwind it. You could stack the knees together. So the goal here is to find a posture that you can sustain. That you're comfortable with holding. And that pushes you just around the edge of your comfort zone. So Dvesha. What I find particularly fascinating about the 5 kleshas is that Patanjali outlined these thousands of years ago. And we humans are still struggling with them today. right? So he didn't invent them, he just simply identified them. Habits of the mind that cause us pain and suffering. And I think this is the number one thing that I struggled with throughout my childhood and my teenage years. Right? A friend hurts your feelings and you create a story in your head about how they're mean or how they intentionally wanted to hurt you or how they did this on purpose. And this whole thing is this story that you have created around what actually happened. And oftentimes when you actually connect to people and you share with them that you've felt hurt by them, it's so often just a misunderstanding. Right? We see things as we are, not as they actually are. Let's take one more round of breath in this side of the twisted root. And then slowly unwind. And then in between sides, we are going to come through a neutral. So why don't you unwind and then just come into lying on your back, legs extended. I don't often tell you guys how to take your rebound, but this one just seems natural between your supine twist to stay on your spine. Your rebound just gives you an opportunity to witness the transformation that you're experiencing. Then open your arms back as opposite side. So your left knee is going to stack on top of your right. Shift your hips, and then drop your knees over to the right. So the largest example of this concept something to me at the beginning of, and I've told this story before. So forgive me if you've heard it. When I first started teaching online, I posted a video teaching the children about nouns and verbs. And in the video, I made a mistake. Right? I called something a noun when it was actually a verb. And a parent emailed the school saying that they were questioning my qualifications as a teacher. And that being in a stressful situation is no excuse for making errors, making mistakes. And my immediate emotional reaction to this situation was to feel very shook up. I was like, I'm not going to make any more videos. I'm just going to send these kids YouTube links. And then I went for a walk on my lunch break that day. And I was reminded of that metaphor. You've probably heard it before. Cup is full with coffee, someone knocks into you, spills the coffee. Why did the coffee spill? It's because coffee was in the cup. Right? If your cup was full of tea, then you would have spilled out tea. The point is that we are responsible for what is in our cup. We're not responsible for anyone else's cup. Right? And all we want is that our own cup is full of joy and compassion and love. And so when it gets shook, that is what comes out. Take one more moment in this twist. And then come all the way slowly up through center. And then once again, we're going to extend the legs out on the mat. Bringing ourselves into that full Shavasana. Not the end of the class, just our resting pose, our rebound. But the point is that I had this epiphany about this parent. Right? I don't know what's going on with him. He could have lost his job. He could have relatives sick with coronavirus. Maybe his mental health is suffering because he's stuck at home 24/7 with his kids and they're driving him crazy. Right? You have no idea what's happening in someone's life that's leading them to make the choices that they're making. And all you can control is your reaction to it. I going to fill up my cup with, and what's going to pour out when it's shook? And all of this is what Patanjali was talking about thousands of years ago when he identified Dvaita. Take one more breath in this neutral. And then take your knees into your chest. We're going to rock onto one side, and we're going to come just up to an upright seated position. So the next twist that we're going to take, you're going to use your pillow, and you're going to place your pillow on the mat. And what you're going to do is create two 90-degree angles with your legs. So your left hip can be close towards the pillow, and you're bending through the left knee. And then your right knee, I'm like, I don't even know how I'm describing it. Just look at me, hopefully you can see. Like, how do I explain this? You're sitting on the left hip, left knee is bent, right angle. Right knee is almost towards your left sole of foot. There we go. And then your right foot is behind you. And then you're going to start curling forward. Sorry, that was terrible teaching. I hope you see what I mean. And then you're going to start curling forward, laying your torso onto the mat. And then rest your right cheek. And lay your arms on your mat in like this cactus, gazing over the left shoulder. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So if that's comfortable for your left neck to be gazing over the left shoulder, go ahead. Or you can keep your gaze the other way. God, can you tell that I've never taught this pose before? I think you've all figured it out. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Nice. So this is a deer pose twist. What I like about it is that it integrates a bit of a forward folding. While also integrating the twist. So what are the physical benefits of twists? I think they're one of the most balancing poses for us mentally. Right? They help us find balance and comfort. They can both cool and ignite us, prepare or calm us. And when we come back to neutral after the twists, we are reminded to find balance. Finding a release. Knowledge that after every inhale, there is an exhale. Twists stimulate and tone the internal organs, like the kidney, the liver. They help lengthen and create resilience in the tissues of the spine. They mildly stimulate the nervous system. And twists are a reminder for us to seek the middle way. Living a life not too strong, not too weak. Combining yin and yang as we move through our lives. The Buddha taught that we are continuously being pulled in different directions. Right? We're conditioned to move towards the things we like and to move away from the things we don't like. And the goal is to keep coming back to the center. Right? Finding balance is finding an acceptance. Meeting life as it meets you. Just without the drama or fuss. Stay here for another round of breath. And then slowly come all the way back up through center. Nice. Just take a moment sitting crisscross and letting that posture wash over you. How does it feel on your right side compared to your left? And we'll take the opposite side when you're ready. So again, you're going to turn towards the right. Bending through your right knee, making this 90-degree angle with the right knee. And then placing your left knee down on the mat. Another 90-degree angle with the left knee. And then slowly start turning and twisting, spiraling towards your pillow, walking your hands down, and then deciding whether you want to lay your left cheek or lay your right cheek on the mat. Knowing that we will be here for about 5 or so minutes. So how does this idea of Devesha come into our yoga practice? I see our yoga mats as an opportunity to explore ourselves. Right? Our yoga practice is not separate from the rest of our lives. And how we react to things, our habits of the mind, the same things that bother us outside of our yoga mat will show up here. Right, so say you are in this class and you're getting really bored. That's an emotional reaction. Say you're here and you're annoyed with how much I'm talking. That's an emotional reaction too. Right? If you like certain poses, if you have preferences towards some or the other, that's a reaction. I know I used to get annoyed when I went to yin classes that were like about twists or lateral side bends. I'd be like, that's all we're doing today, not hips. And all of that is my emotional reaction. Right? It's a story I'm telling myself about my experience. I don't like this pose. I don't like this teacher. I don't like this class. Or I like this class. I like this teacher. I like this pose, which I hope you're all thinking. But all of that too is your reaction. Kenny posted something really beautiful about the whole quarantine. He said, what if I was attaching nothing to this? It's not bad, it's not good, it just is. Right? This is my situation, it just is. And it's complete acceptance of the situation that you've been placed in. With no judgments, no reactions, no stories around them. I have to say, I think I'm saying all this as if it's easy. I know it's not. Right? I'm not trying to invalidate feelings because feelings are important. They happen for a reason. the goal is to just look at your feelings with curiosity and realize that they are separate from the events themselves. Staying on this side for a few more rounds of breath. And then slowly, when you're ready, start to make your way up out of it. Coming all the way back up to seated. And then again, coming into that crisscross, lengthening through the spine, resting through the palms of the hands. And then just letting both of those twists wash over you. So we started with a heart opener. And then we move through 2 deep spinal twists. And now we're going to neutralize the spine with kind of a lateral side bend, forward fold. So Jani Shirshasana. So keep your left sole of foot in, and then lengthen your right leg long. And then you can land your right arm just like heavy on your right leg. And then we're gonna lift our left arm up overhead. We're not gonna be here for super long, don't worry, maybe just a minute. Just getting a nice side body stretch. Just kind of lengthening out and neutralizing through the rib cage and through the spine. Take 2 more breaths. And then inhale, come all the way back up through center. Pause. ready, setting up the opposite way. So your left leg is going to extend, your right sole of foot is on the inner thigh. And then letting your left arm come heavy. And then reaching your right arm up. Taking about 10 rounds of breath. How are you reacting to this shape? What is coming up for you? Are you starting to feel uncomfortable? Are you starting to be annoyed? What are you feeling? And can you use your breath like we started at the start of the class and just connect to the parasympathetic nervous system? Taking deep inhales and exhales, letting this pose just be the pose. No other stories or anything attached to it. And when we are able to detach from our reactions, it's what helps us connect to life in the only time it happens, which is right now. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, come all the way back up. Take your right leg out and your left leg out in front of you. Just one more pose and then Shavasana, I promise. I'm going to use my bolster. If you want to place a pillow on top of your legs, go ahead. We're just going to come forward into a caterpillar. And if you're not comfortable with the pillow, it's not really necessary or mandatory. It just can be nice to be cushioned. So we see things as we are, not as they are. And as we're in this forward fold, it's kind of your opportunity for introspection. How does dvesha, or how do these habits of the mind impact you? And in what ways can you kind of intersect this? In what ways can you not push away your feelings? That's not the goal. You should be feeling all of your feelings. But in what ways can you look at them through a lens and realize, you know, this is life and this is how I'm reacting to it? How can you make sure that your cup is filled up with the good stuff that's going to come splashing out. Take a few more rounds of breath. And then slowly, slowly peel all the way up. And then start to set yourself up for your short and sweet shavasana. If you want to take any other resting pose, go ahead. Just allowing this pose to be a container for you. Holding you here. Rest into it, knowing that I will bring you back when the time is up. Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela. Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela, Ishkava magu lela. Give your fingers and your toes a little wake up wiggle. Run a nice long stretch from your fingertips all the way through your toes. Curl your body into a nice little hug. In this hug, thanking and acknowledging the fact that you made it here. You prioritize your well-being. That is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Then make your way up to seated. Holding your palms at heart center and stacking each and every vertebrae one at a time. Last thing is that your shoulders soften down your back. And then if you would like to join for an Om, we will inhale, exhale, and then inhale through to make the Om. So take a big breath in. Exhale. Inhale. We close with an intention. An ancient intention, but perhaps the original intention. It's that our yoga practice remain steady, that our efforts remain continuous on this path, that our yoga serves and benefits all beings everywhere. May all beings be safe, be happy, be healthy, be free. And may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. Om Shanti 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 Peace. Namaste.
The Mindful Life Practice Community.